obviously. We feel like one of those two guys will ultimately be starting week one. But the third name is the boogeyman, Brady, who the Niners passed on a while ago. What are your thoughts on that? And then we'll get to a couple of questions.
Well, I mean, what the 49ers are a Super Bowl contending team. So if Brock Purdy is not 100% and Trey Lance is not 100%, and they don't know if they don't they have to bring in another quarterback? I mean, I would love to just go with the two rookie quarterbacks because that's the best move on the cap. That's the cheapest move. That's going to allow you to have the best surrounding cast to have two rookie quarterbacks. If you want to say I want to put the best team together, it should be Purdy as the one, Lance as the two. Let them compete this summer, and there you go. And don't touch Tom Brady because Tom Brady. Unless Tom Brady's going to give you a hometown discount, Tom Brady's going to cost you, I would say, close to $35 million a year. So how do you pay Bosa? I mean, there was no plan for this. You know what I'm saying? The plan was to move off Jimmy, pay Bosa, pay Debo.
The plan was to have the quarterback be cheap.
Right. And so now can you go back to Brady? I don't know that you can and still do all the things you want to do with your roster. And it doesn't make sense to go to Brady if you can't protect him. And if you can't have Brady and then, I mean, I'm looking at it this way. Tom Brady probably wants to be a Niner. Why? Because he's probably dreamed of being a Niner's whole life. Also, he probably would like to live in the Bay Area, and he knows that if he plays in the Niner uniform, his popularity locally is going to go through the roof for the rest of the time, and he's going to be able to walk around as a 49er and be welcomed in the Niner family, basically for the rest of his life on the planet. So I think that's what motivates him. Well, what would make him even more popular among Niner fans if he came back if he played for the Niners the way Dion played for the Niners, where he basically said, I want to play for the Niners and I'll do it for $1 million. I mean, that's what Dion did. Dion made a ton of money with Dallas. With the Niners, he took just, whatever it was, a basic deal. If Tom Brady's willing to take a sweetheart hometown discount to help the Niners on the cap, I think that serves his purpose. I think that makes him, I think it's a popular move if he comes home. It's an enormously popular move if he comes home for less. So I think it makes sense if he's willing to come home for less. But if he's not willing to come home for less, you need to improve the offensive line. And what about the value? What about the bootleg game? I mean, it seems like the bootleg game seems like a staple of the Shanahan offense. Is Shanahan, who's running this offense if Brady comes in? Is it Brady running the offense and he's dictating to Shanahan? Or is Shanahan still the big dog and he's going to dictate to Brady? Can Shanahan, somehow design an offense that, keeps Tom in the pocket and doesn't lean on any kind of quarterback movement that he's not good at? And can they protect a stationary 46-year-old quarterback with, Colton McKivitz at right tackle and Spencer Burford at right guard? Tom Brady hasn't missed a game in a decade, probably more. Is he going to miss games because he's got offensive linemen that can't protect him?
He dropped back how many times this year?
66 in the last game.
Right, and that Bucs offensive line, are we even going to compare them to this 49ers offensive line? This year, with Wirfs getting hurt, Ali Marpet retiring, Kappa going to Cincinnati, Ryan Jensen getting hurt, and Donovan Smith holding every play and all those backups that they played.
I never felt like Tampa was a good fit for Brady. Why? Because Tampa has a downfield passing attack. So if you have a limited offensive line in Tampa, Tom's going to struggle.
But they didn't when he got there,
and he
right?
still got rid of the ball in time. He still got rid of the ball
quickly. They won the
quickly.
Super Bowl his first year, though, because they didn't, right? They had Marpet, they had Kappa, they had Jensen, they had Donovan Smith, who at the time was not a premier left tackle, but he was right below what a premier left tackle is. And then they drafted Wirfs, who's been kind of a Hall of Fame right tackle kind of player since he's been drafted. So they didn't originally, right? And I agree with you. The system is going to be important, right? Because I think the best point Chris Collinsworth makes every time he talks about the Niners offense is he talks about the meeting point for the quarterback and the running back when you're running wide zone. And he talks about how athletic the quarterback has to be in his drop and how explosive he has to be to meet the running back there, right, when you're running wide zone. And those are some athletic limitations involved with Brady. But I think those things can be adjusted. Shanahan has made a lot of tweaks to their drop back pass game in some ways for Garoppolo too, making a lot of one step quick game, a lot of New England style passing. Brady's still the king of the middle of the field. He's still the king of the quick game. You see, it's hard to imagine him not being successful with players like McCaffrey and Debo and Kittle and Ayuk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. I've been saying go get Brady for a while.
But I'm
all for Brady coming here. Why not? It would be a great story. It would make the team more interesting. Maybe Gronk would join him. I mean, here's the question. This is the question. And this is the question all Niner fans know is out there. What is better for the franchise? Is it better for the franchise to have Tom Brady and put all your eggs into winning next year with Tom Brady? Or is it best to, as Sherpagny is suggesting here, that he says Trey should have a losing season before we say no to him? So let's just assume that Sherpagny here is the entire public and the entire fan base. Are you willing to give away next season as a losing season to develop Trey Lance, or would you prefer that the 49ers don't go and give away next season as a losing season and go for a Super Bowl next year with Tom Brady? I would argue that it's more of a year. They're at a point now where they're a year-to-year operation. They're going for the Super Bowl. They're all in. I think they'll go with Brady. I think they will.